Hello and good afternoon. We're a bit further along, so here's an update. What I've completed so far is the simple side of the slip. So just to recap, we have our two common crossings and our two obtuse crossings, which have been on here for ages. I was using this brass to align the flange way on this side with the flange way on that side, just placing the brass in and getting it all aligned up. I had to remove this point blade, and actually this one as well. These two I had, if you remember, to I think video 2, where I filed the blades down. I was filing, bending and filing again, and I couldn't reliably get a straight bend. So actually these ones were more like an equilateral triangle than a right angle triangle. So I needed to just adjust them. So I blunted them a little bit and tidied them up and put them back in. And I put them back in using the same methods we've discussed before. So using this kind of brass in one alignment, and then a little shim in the other alignment, and then shoving the rail up there so it's all this 0.5 mil brass strip acts to represent the flange way that needs to be there. And the way I use that is using some of these tools here. So these are particularly useful. These are just aluminium hair clips that I've just pinched the ends off of with some clippers. And they're great for getting in there and gripping rail. You wouldn't want to use these to hold the rail in alignment. As you can see, this one's become a little bit twisted. You can bend it back easily enough. But what they are good for is having a known flat or known straight piece, and then clipping the rail to it temporarily while you solder the rail, and you take the clips off, take the brass strip out, and you'll hopefully, if this works out okay, you can see those are in pretty good alignment. So that's how I'm using these. I just generally use these for lots of stuff. They're just really handy. You can't buy them anymore. Everyone wants those plastic ones, but I think they're still available on Amazon. I think I got a pack of 10 for £1 or £2 or something. I'm going to get some more of those because I've mostly run out. They've gone walkies. The other gauge over here is a button gauge, and what it is for areas where you wouldn't otherwise be able to fit a gauge in. So for example here, this wing rail is going to affect me being able to place a gauge on top, just for an example. Normally it's useful in the center of formations like this. This is the exact width of the inside face of where the rails are, so it should be a snug fit wherever you put it. But I didn't use that one too much now. I'll be using it later. This is a 3-point gauge, so you can use it for gauge widening and gauge narrowing. So if you have a curve, depending on which way around, you will either make the gauge wider, which is useful for sharp radius turns, or narrower, which you should never do. But in these cases, because it's these tiny feet, it can really sneak up into areas that would otherwise be fairly contentious to gauge. Because the main gauges you'll be using are these roller gauges. So this is it's just a piece of brass that's been turned down, and those are the outer rolls are for the track, the inner are for these check rails, and there's a flat section here, and you might be wondering, well, why is that? Because you could put this over here, for example, and it would be no problem. It's for this kind of thing, where if I lift this up, you'll see there's a V, and if there was no flat section, this wouldn't sit properly. But with a flat section, that flat section is sitting on top of that top rail, so it fits in nicely. So those are the jigs I've used, and essentially I have just added in a straight stock rail there and a straight stock rail there, but it's getting a lot better. The next step will be, I believe, to put in the switch blades, which are going to fit inside this section here. If I just use a piece of brass. So from top view, I'm going to go from there straight down to here-ish, no, here, somewhere like that. This length here, and same on this side. There'll be a point blade from there to there, and that's going to be a real challenge, I think. But I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes. Once those point blades are done, there's only 2 extra rails, actually only 4 pieces of rail and some check rails to put in. but I'm a bit nervous, so I'll let you know how it goes.